All right, welcome back, everybody. It is week 9 of the NFL season.
Oh
NZR
yeah,
is back.
yes sir.
Hello, Brady. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Jules?
I'm doing great. I actually have a voice this week, even though I
You love
lost
to
it
see
during the
it. You love to
Kentucky
see
game.
it.
What were you
Yeah.
saying?
So, Jules, we're gonna kick it right off. What is week 8 before the trade deadline? I know that obviously happened the other day, but what about week 8 last Sunday? What'd you see?
Week 8 was a crazy week, but you know what's even crazier? My co-host Brady Hannon is turning 18 tomorrow. So let's wish him a happy birthday. Hey, the kid can drive now. Even I know you
I'm a
could drive two
phenomenal
weeks ago,
player.
2 years ago. I mean, but anyway, how's it feel that you're almost gonna be an adult, right?
It feels good. Can vote on people that my parents tell me to vote for. Um,
Exactly.
1 year closer to being legally allowed to go into a bar. All great milestones.
That's right. All right. Well,
All I can
enough
drink in
about you.
Mexico.
Enough about you. Let's go. Let's go
Thanks,
talk
Jules.
about week 8
All right.
from this past week of the NFL season. First thing I'm gonna say, the Raiders. It's not an overreaction at this point. They are
Bad.
so bad.
They're so bad.
I
Holy
mean,
crap, they
if
have an all-star team right now. And Josh McDaniels is not a head coach. I'm sorry. He's just
he's
not.
awful.
It looks like you are trying to coach there, but worse. Not worse, but bad.
I I mean the whole AFC West has been really underwhelming. The Chargers also. I mean, didn't the Chargers Chargers had a bye week last week. They're still bad. I mean, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are both hurt still. Josh Palmer. I'm starting him at my flex this week because
Are
he's
you
going to go off.
seriously? Wait, is Mike Williams out?
Mike Williams out for like 4 weeks, dude.
Ooh, that's a good start.
Yeah, he's in trouble. But the Raiders, though, like, how do you? I don't get what their offense is thinking. You have the best receiver in all of the NFL, the best receiver, and they can't get him the ball. They can't
No,
scheme for him.
it's terrible. You think they'd be able to scheme open some way. I mean, this is a guy who got a 7th-round quarterback to what some people thought was a Hall of Fame career in New England, and you can't get a first ballot Hall of Famer the ball more than 3 times a game? Like, are you kidding me?
It's embarrassing. I mean, I
It is
looked at that
embarrassing.
scoreboard and kept thinking, oh, maybe they're gonna score, but maybe they'll get some garbage time points. And the Saints are not that good of a team.
Yeah, the Saints are an average team. Like, they have Andy Dalton starting for them. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but
but
they're not that good.
Kamara in the background of this picture, he went off. I mean, he's gonna have those games, but
Kamara's balance is stupid.
do you think anyone in
He
the
just
NFC
bounced it.
South is a threat right now?
No. I talked about the Falcons last week being a potential wild card team. I think they're honestly probably the biggest threat in that division right now, and I don't think they're a threat. Yeah, no,
Well,
the Bucks can't move the ball. The Panthers are the Panthers. I mean, the Saints can't do much. And who else is in that division?
Bucks,
Wait,
Saints,
Saints,
Bucks,
Falcons.
Saints,
Yeah,
Panthers,
Saints, Falcons.
Falcons.
Are what they are. Falcons are mid. I mean, yeah, it's a very boring mid division.
But can we talk about that? Did you see the end of that Panthers Falcons game?
That was crazy with the
That
DJ
was
Moore play.
insane.
That was insane. And then he threw his helmet off when he was off the field, though.
Yeah, well, they should have known that, with Eddie Pinheiro there,
Yeah,
that
Eddie
no
Pinheiro's
kick
got a
is
history
safe.
of missing some big kicks.
Some of you guys, or none of you guys know, but me and Brady went to the Bears Chargers game a few years ago. That's where I got this Urlacher bobblehead from. And the Bears had a shot to win the game on the very last second with a field goal.
And also, you guys got to understand the frustration at this point in the game. The Bears were in the red zone probably 12 times, and they kept running swing passes to Tariq Cohen and running the ball up the gut for no gains. It was the most abysmal play calling I've seen in my entire life.
It was horrible. And then finally they drive down the field and shanks the field goal from 40 yards out. That would have won us the game. So when Eddie Pinheiro comes out there to kick the game-winning extra point for the Panthers, it's not game-winning. No shot.
Yeah.
But
that's a goal.
that throw was amazing.
That throw was stupid. Imagine making that throw and then losing the game.
Imagine being freshman year Brady Cannon on the freshman B team, launching it to DJ Moore just to lose the game.
Throw that far.
What?
I wish I could throw that far.
You can. Brady Hannon can't throw that far, but Brady Cannon can get it 60 yards down the field easily.
For sure.
That's what they called you, right? They had to.
Yeah, that was my freshman year quarterback nickname. I had no mechanics, no form, no footwork, but I had a good arm, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a good time. But moving on to some other looking back in the past, the Super Bowl defending champs are bad. They have an all-star team, and their offense looks abysmal.
They've no run game whatsoever.
They have no run game. Stafford is looking kind of old. That O-line's getting beat. Outside of Kupp, there's no one producing.
It's been tough. And Whitworth retired. He was on the rant. We've talked about this briefly. I think with some of their guys moving on and leaving the team, I mean, they can't protect Stafford. They can't run block. They can't move the ball down the field. Every time that we think the Rams are going to make a comeback, they don't.
No, it's bad. It doesn't look like it's not the same team as last year. It's just not.
Well, do you think that opens the door for Seattle? Any chance the Seahawks win that division?
I think that definitely opens the door for Seattle. They just pounded the 6-1 Giants.
Yeah, but if Seattle goes against the Rams right now, who's winning?
Who?
If Seattle goes against the LA Rams right now this week, who's winning that game?
Seattle.
Okay.
Are you serious? Seattle's going to win that game.
That's an interesting pick.
Seattle is a more complete team. They're a more together team. They look much more organized, much more efficient, and they play to their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams have Cooper Kupp and nothing else, and their defense has not looked great. I mean,
fair enough. Well, I mean,
the Seahawks are what they are, and they play very well.
Before we continue talking about Week 8, let's actually let our viewers know we've got 2 guest appearances today. We've got Sammy Entin and Ben Alon. They're going to be showing up and showing out for the gang.
Sammy Entin is formerly known as the president of the most prestige public high school in the country.
You can give him his little intro when we get there.
He's a big ad, folks. And Ben Alon he attends that high school. So that's all. So we'll get into that more later.
Where are they? They're at Soldier Field. Oh, say what's up. They'll be in there in a little bit with their own
is on your
sections.
Left, the average-ish student is on your right.
Thank you to the man that looks like a thumb. Thank you a lot.
All
right, we'll see.
It'll be a good time when they come on.
We'll see them in a little bit.
Insults and lack of knowledge.
One other thing from Week 8 that I saw is the Browns are just holding on long. They are praying that Deshaun will win every single game when they come back.
500 for when Deshaun Watson gets back.
They're 3-5. He comes back week 13. If they're 5-8, ooh, no, 5. No. If they're 5-7 through week 12,
I have to look at their schedule because
they're still in it.
I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to go out and just light it up. I really don't. I think he's going to struggle, and I think it's going to take a lot of time. This man has not played organized football in like 2 years.
I mean, he's finding ways to practice. He's finding ways to get his reps in. He's still Deshaun Watson, and he's got a capable team around him.
I think if the Browns are in a playoff position, if they're 6-6, hovering around 6-6, 5-7, I think they should stick with Jacoby Brissett as their starter for the rest of the year.
Rest of the year?
Yeah.
No shot.
I think if they're out of play, if they lose the next 2 games and they go into that game like 4-8, I think they put Watson and see what he can do. But I really think that they should keep Brissett in. I think he gives them the best chance to win.
Brady, they're paying this guy like $240 million.
They're not paying him anything this year. They're paying him like $1 million.
It doesn't matter. Do you know how that fan base is going to go absolutely insane if they keep him on the bench?
That fan base hasn't seen a winning team besides 1 year since either of us were alive combined.
Jacoby Brissett will not make the Browns a winning team. They're 3-5 right now. The best they could be by week 12.
They just beat up on the Bengals, bro.
What?
They just beat up on the Bengals.
Yeah, but they split with the Bengals every season for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but the point is, the Browns are a better team right now with Jacoby Brissett knowing this offense and Nick Chubb grounding it out. And the Browns have found their identity over the last couple weeks a little.
You're out of your mind for that. You're out of your mind for that. If you think the Browns are not going to not going to go to Deshaun Watson when he's eligible to return in week 13.
I don't think they're not going to. I think they shouldn't. You're telling me that
I think you're out of your damn mind.
So Jacoby Brissett with 3 months in this offense is going to be better than some dude who should probably be in jail right now, who hasn't played an NFL game in 2 years, You think he's going to win more games for them? Are you out of your mind?
Yes. He's a
No, you
better
are
quarterback
crazy.
by a mile.
No, you are crazy. I don't know if that lab experiment was on you earlier you were talking about, but no. Deshaun Watson is not going to be a better quarterback in this offense for the last 5 games of the season than Jacoby Brissett will.
That's
I think
my
the Browns,
gosh.
because of the pressure on their fan base and the media, are going to play him. And I think he's going to be bad. And I think all the Browns fans, I'm going to be like, I told you so. And I think the Browns are going to miss the playoffs if they play Deshaun Watson.
They're going to miss the playoffs.
There, that's my
if they
bold
have,
take. The Browns are going
Okay.
to miss the playoffs and be worse with Deshaun Watson. I was right with the Colts and Matt Ryan. You
I
see how
was
that
going to
turned out?
say,
He's not
you
even on
got the
field
Matt
anymore.
Ryan one right.
Matt Ryan's not even
There's-
on the field anymore. They won't touch him.
There's no way.
That's what you said about – okay.
There's no way that Deshaun Watson is going to be worse for the Browns than Brissett would be. And now we've got Becker
It's
in the
not that-
comments. We've got a comment
you say
saying
Brissett is a bottom-tier quarterback. Brissett is mid, okay? And mid for the Browns is way better than what they normally are, okay?
Deshaun
You
Watson.
got to understand that. The Browns are a tire fire in a dumpster fire.
A dumpster fire, you say?
Mid for
Becker.
the Browns. Like, the Browns at 500 is like a Super Bowl winning season for most teams.
The Browns a couple years ago won a playoff game when
Yeah, and then
Baker
they
was
went to Kansas City
actually
and got their
kind of
dreams
good.
crushed and have never recovered.
Jacoby Brissett will not win anything for them in the playoffs.
Jacoby Brissett
Deshaun
has
gives them that chance. And in the
No, no,
comment
no. So
section,
you're telling me
in the
if
comment
Browns go to the
section,
playoffs, the Browns are playing a road game in the playoffs.
I'm trying, Beck.
You think Nick Chubb can't win that game for them with Jacoby Brissett organizing the offense and running the show? I totally think the Browns can win a playoff game like that. Do I think they're a Super Bowl team?
No.
No. Are they a Super Bowl team with Watson?
Yes.
Certainly not.
Yes, they
No.
have a shot. They
This
have a
year-
shot. They're not a
This
super.
year,
They're not a Super Bowl team, but they absolutely have a chance.
they do not have a shot with Deshaun Watson to win a Super Bowl. It is not that close.
Respectfully, you're wrong.
No, respectfully,
Deshaun
you're
Watson
losing.
gives the Browns
No,
a
you are
slim chance
crazy.
at the Super Bowl.
You take a quarterback who has not played football in like a fifth of a decade.
You keep talking about
years.
him not playing football. You act as if this guy just walks around all. Okay, he has legal cases and he has probably
He has
friends
legal-
and
yeah.
family. Okay,
But
that
A,
leaves
his
a lot
mind's
of
not-
time for
his
football.
mind's not where his mind needs to be. She's going to get crapped on by the media. Like there's no tomorrow.
Who cares? He
He
plays
cares.
football. He
The
doesn't play
Browns
media.
care.
Did
The Browns wanna
Beast
win
Mode?
games.
Did Beast Mode play media? No, Beast Mode got the ball and ran through people. Deshaun Watson gets the ball and throws to receivers. Who gives? No one cares. No one cares what he does in his off time. You act like he's not going to be ready to go in there and play like a $200 million quarterback. He's not going to be insane right off the bat, but he will absolutely give the Browns, if they have any semblance of playoff hopes by week 13, Deshaun Watson gives the Browns much more of a fighting chance than Jacoby Brissett does. And there is no way Brissett takes them anywhere near to the Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson gives a team that spark. If you have a team with the surroundings that the Cleveland Browns do, which is a pretty good surrounding cast, a pretty good supporting cast, Deshaun Watson is the guy who's going to give them at least a glimmer of hope. If you are with Jacoby Brissett going past week 13, season's over.
Yeah, well, I mean,
There,
I
you've
let you
heard
argue a
it
little
from-
bit.
you've
I don't
heard it
think
from
Deshaun
me.
Watson's going to give the right spark and energy that the Browns really need as a NFL football team.
All right,
But,
let's move
moving
on to
on
the
our
trade
next-
deadline.
We're going to move on to the trade deadline. And we're going to first start with the, right on the screen right there. The only man from the trade deadline we've seen play so far.
Yeah,
Christian
and boy, did he
McCaffrey.
play well.
And he is a threat. When he's not being quadruple teamed, yikes. I mean, the
He-
man can do everything.
he
played
is a
quarterback for
weapon.
the Bears before 2 years ago.
He is a certified weapon. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan must be just beaming out of his mouth. Sheesh.
That Niners offense is disgusting when they're healthy. They got a great O-line. They got great value Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, they got CMC, Elijah Mitchell, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo. They're loaded, bro.
When push comes to shove, the 49ers probably have a better offense than whatever team they're playing. I don't care what anyone says about Jimmy Garoppolo. You have so many weapons to give the ball to and run after the catch, run after the contact. I mean, Kyle, we have our midseason predictions coming up next week, but you might hear a little bit about the Niners from my end. Just saying.
Okay. I mean, we also got some very other ones. There's one, surprisingly, the only one that involved a first-round pick, I believe, was
Bradley
Chubb to the Finns.
And he got a 5-year extension today.
Yeah, he got the bag.
He
But that
did get a
felt like
bag.
the Dolphins are going all in with Tua right now.
I mean, I saw a stat the other day that said Tua is like 12-2 in his last 14 games that he hasn't died in.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, Tua's
He's
been
been
balling,
really
dude.
good.
He gets the ball to who he needs to get the ball to, and they make plays. I mean, he's
It's this.
efficient. He's quick.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanically, he's phenomenal. He might not be the biggest guy. He might not be the fastest guy. You don't see any Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes in him, but he's a dude. He gets the job done.
Yeah. Well, you think I mean, edge rushers are edge rushers. You rush the quarterback. Doesn't really matter what team you're on. Chubb could make an immediate impact. Who do they play this week?
They play the Bears. I'm gonna be at that game.
Oh no.
Yeah. You'll hear
We have
about
to
that
play
later.
Miami this week. All right, incoming 3-sack game for Bradley Chubb. That's tough.
There's backup tackle. Okay.
I think that's a great trade for Miami. They got that first rounder from San Francisco for the Trey Lance trade, one of the worst trades in my opinion of the past 3 years. But
what was the Trey Lance trade again? It was like the Niners moved up with what?
They moved up 3 picks, I think, and traded away 2 first rounders or something like that.
Yeah,
it was craziness. The Dolphins fleeced them. But
you guys remember last year when the Dolphins, everyone thought they should draft a quarterback in the first round? You guys remember that? Yeah, me too.
Dolphins and the Bears. Oh my gosh, that is trouble for us.
Yeah, speaking of the Bears, we got Chase Claypool, baby.
Damn right we did.
Pretty good.
Ryan Poles was very busy this year at the deadline. I've had a few people asking me. Uncle Mike just today asked me what my thoughts on Claypool were. I said you're gonna have to watch the podcast to see. I am so happy. I know some people say, yeah, he can only run in a straight line. Yeah, he does these TikToks and whatever. He's not a route running receiver. I don't care. We have a guy who can catch the football when throwing the football.
That's fair.
We have not had that all season. Darnell Mooney, great guy. I loved him last year. He had a chance to win us the game against Washington. That was a perfectly thrown ball right where only our receiver can catch it, and he dropped the football. All right? Enough of him. Chase Claypool will catch that football. That's why we get Chase Claypool, because when Fields at least has someone that the defense has to look out for now. I don't care that it took a second round pick. We had 2 second rounders. I heard that we made the same deal as the Packers did, and that the Steelers took our pick because it'll be lower since we're a trash football team. I don't blame the Steelers. I mean, I would do the same thing. I am so happy. He has 2 years left on his deal. If we like him, we extend him. If we don't, it is what it is. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of second round receivers next year. We need something for Fields to throw to. Somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with that trade.
I watched some tape and I love the deal. I think he's quarterback friendly. Like you see scramble, like I've watched some tape on scramble drills moving around in Pittsburgh. He knows how to read zones. He knows how to get open in zones. He knows how to we all know he's 4'4". He can extend the field. He's big. He can catch it over people. That's great. We know that. But he can get in zones. He makes easy throws for the quarterback. He's a big body. If you put him on, he's going to catch the ball. He's going to make the play. He's going to get open in zone coverage. He's going to get open against man coverage. On scramble drills, he'll find his zone. He'll find a lane to get a throwing lane in.
Exactly.
He's a friendly quarterback. There was a play last week against the it wasn't the New England game. No, it was Dallas. Fields caught the defense at the end of the half when it was 14-28. Touchdown versus field goal makes it a 1 or 2 possession game. It's huge, right? He threw it up, perfect ball to EQ, 6'5". He couldn't come down with it. It was contested, but it was a play that could have been made. And those are the type of plays that Claypool is going to make, and it's going to make Fields' life so much easier, and I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited as well. We need something to hope for this year on offense. I mean, tank for Hyatt, but
and one more big trade that we're gonna go over is this is an interesting one. The Calvin Ridley trade to the Jags.
Hold on, we're not gonna talk about Roquan?
Oh, we missed Roquan. My bad. Let's talk about Roquan.
And we missed Robert Quinn, but I mean Robert
Quinn was the same deal as Bradley Chubb, just a lower tier.
Just a fourth rounder, yeah, not a first rounder.
Yeah, but Robert Quinn's aging. He's not his prime.
That wasn't a horrible try. I think we could have got a third for him if a team was more desperate for pass rush, but it is what it is. We'll take what we can get.
I thought the Roquan trade was a good move for the Bears. I think Chase Claypool is going to do more for the Bears right now than Roquan will, considering in Fluce's. I mean, like, I love Roquan. He's a phenomenal player. He's one of my favorite Bears. But we did give up 49 points last week with him at middle linebacker. And I think the drop-off from Claypool to Dante Pettis is a lot bigger than Roquan to Nicholas Morrow.
That's a good point, because I'm still going to have to disagree with the part where you said Roquan has done less for the Bears than Claypool will. I'm going to disagree with that.
No. I didn't mean it like that. I think Roquan this season has done more than Claypool will be able to integrate into the new offense. I don't think Claypool statistically, at least for the first few weeks, is going to be insane for the Bears. Just not really a realistic scenario. But yeah, and also the Bears. It was clear that Poles and Roquan were not going to get a deal done.
Yeah,
it's better to have a second
trade
pick now, which turns into Claypool and an extra draft pick, than they get rid of Roquan at the end of the year and have nothing.
Yeah, that part I agree with that part, with the general contract element of it. You know, we saw the Cubs this year not trade either of their assets, and now Wilson Contreras is just going to float away in free agency. The Bears, you know, it's Roquan's last year of his deal. We had to get something for him. He requested a trade. We know he's not coming back. That, I think, was a good decision on the management. And if the second rounder is the most you were going to get, then I'll take that over nothing, you know?
Yeah, and also, going back, people have complained so much about how seconds too much to give up Claypool, but like looking at the second round receivers this year, none of them are close to as good as Claypool. Christian Watson has been hurt and unproductive. Alec Pierce has been decent. George Pickens has been decent. And then there were 4 others. I don't remember the names. Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants has done nothing. John Mechie obviously has cancer, so he's a TBD. And there are a few other guys, but there's just been no one. No one else in that second round has been productive. Like I said, there were 7 receivers taken, 6 minus
Fair
catches.
enough.
2 of them have over 11 catches.
Really? Dang, someone went into the stat book this week.
Yeah, well, no,
that's new.
I saw it on Twitter. Bears Twitter, very productive. But yeah, and moving on to the last, as we mentioned before, Ridley to the Jags. Jules, what do we think of that one?
I think that's a great trade by Jacksonville.
I think it's phenomenal.
You just got to keep building around Trevor Lawrence. I don't know really what the Falcons were exactly thinking there, because
no, I don't either.
They're going to still need someone for their next quarterback to throw to. But one of my Falcons friends said he was bound to go anyway, so maybe there's something deeper there that we didn't know about with the Falcons and him not reaching contract or whatever.
But the same. Yeah, real quick, the same argument I made for Claypool as a quarterback-friendly receiver. I think Ridley fits the same boat. He doesn't have. I'm not saying he's the same receiver. Obviously, he's smaller, quicker, all that.
He's more of a route runner.
Ridley is going to get open, and you can count on him getting open. If you're in man coverage, you can look to his side of the field, and he's going to get separation every play. And for Trevor Lawrence, that confidence booster is huge. Like, I love him. He's done good things for my fantasy team occasionally, but Christian Kirk is not a wide receiver 1. He's not. Zay Jones is not a wide receiver 1. Evan Ingram is not a reliable tight end threat consistently. I love the move by Jacksonville. I think when Ridley comes back next year, gets a year in the offense, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Great dynamic.
All right, there's one more trade that you wrote down, or there's 2 more, but one more big one, which is Hawkinson to the Vikings. Thoughts on that?
I'm going to be totally honest. I hate to admit this. I have friends who I hate to admit this to. The Vikings fleeced that deal. Holy crap. They got Hawkinson and 2 4th-rounders for a second and a third. Are you kidding me? Dude, they got an Pro Bowl level tight end and 2 4th-round picks for a second and a third. Are you kidding me? And they're going to be late second and thirds for early fourths.
Yeah, that
should be like robbery. Like, they're going to join Russell Wilson for robbery in that cell pretty soon. Oh my God.
The Vikings made a good play at the right time, because Irv Smith Jr. is out for however many weeks now. Just another weapon for that offense. I mean, that's exactly what you should be doing as a contender. Great move by the Vikes, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the best part, Packers did not get anything.
Exactly. We love to see it. One of my friends has Odell on his fantasy team and mentioned today, for fantasy purposes only, I hope that the Packers get OBJ. I'm like, ugh, gross.
Well, OBJ is a free agent. He's not on a team, so he's not going to get traded. He's going to get signed. Just because the trade deadline happened doesn't mean he had to get signed. Then he can get signed at any point.
Yeah. All right.
I've heard concerns about his knee and that health. So I mean, I don't really know if OBJ is even going to be playing this season.
You ready to bring in our first guest today?
Yeah, so we're gonna bring in
Ben Alon. Oh, wait,
Benjamin
Ben's
Alon
first?
is
I
a
thought we were doing
student.
Sammy first.
Benjamin Alon. Now we're going to college football rankings.
All right, let's go to college football. Welcome.
Yeah, Ben Alon is he's a staple backup defenseman for JV lacrosse. He needs
Yes,
a
sir.
haircut.
Yes, sir.
He needs a haircut, and he is struggling in macroeconomics. So let's welcome Ben Alon.
I'm struggling? What do you mean? How am I struggling? All right. Thank you for having me on, boys. Thank you.
Welcome on the show.
Well, obviously, I mean, college football, I think this has been one of the best seasons in a long time. And,
Absolutely has been.
Obviously, we got playoffs coming out. I think the committee just had their first show last night. Regarding
2 nights ago. We're close.
2 nights ago. Thank you about the bracket. And
Be prepared.
Thank you. And so, I mean, I'm just going to read down. This is their 10, and then I'm going to tell you my takes on it. So they got Tennessee at 1. I think it's phenomenal. I think that is obviously we're biased here, but I think Tennessee is clear-cut the number 1 team in the country right now. Ohio State at 2. That's a great spot for them. Georgia at 3. Clemson at 4. This is where, that's a little questionable. I think they're going a little bit with the history that Clemson has, and Dabo Swinney is a phenomenal coach, but we'll dive deeper into that. Michigan at 5, Bama at 6. I think those are fine. TCU at 7. I think they're a sleeper to make a run here, 8-0. And then Oregon at 8, USC at 9, and LSU at 10. LSU at 10 is simply ridiculous. That's a 2-loss season. And they've looked mediocre the whole year. I mean, Jules, I don't know if you've been watching them, but just looking at the stats, they're just a mediocre team. The quarterback, Jalen Daniels, 1,800 passing yards. That's just mid. He is leading them in rushing, and that, I mean, if your quarterback's leading you in rushing, that's not a good sign.
Sounds like
but they're just a mid team. A 2-loss team should not be top 10. To me, though, this is a 8-dog race. Really, I don't consider LSU or USC to be in this. I think Oregon is a very good team. I think we're finally seeing Bo Nix be the player we all thought he was supposed to be at Auburn. And it definitely helps when you've got a line who's only allowed you to get sacked once this year. But Bo Nix has been killing it. But
let me tell you something real quick, Ben.
Yeah.
There is a 0% chance that Oregon makes the playoff.
I was about to say the same.
Really?
0.
Let us tell you why, Ben.
Okay.
The winner of Ohio State, Michigan is going to make the playoffs.
Hold on, Brady. Let me go on a little rant here. I do not care what happens the whole other 11, 12 games of the season. Oregon got beat down by Georgia. There is no way they even attempt to put them against an SEC school this year. I don't care if they blow out every team.
I'm totally with you.
50-0 the whole rest of the season.
Yeah, the fact that there is no preseason, that to me just pisses me off, because you can't have a team like Oregon fly across the country and then play the best team at the time, the best team in the country, week 1. That's just you're preying on Oregon's downfall.
It's for money.
I don't think the committee's going to put them in at all. I think
why not? Why can't they go there? Georgia's in the same situation. You think Georgia's a preseason?
Georgia won. Okay, every team, you're right, but Georgia is practically a home game, and Georgia's just they're on another level, and so I agree with you. I think Oregon's a very good team, but I don't think the committee puts them in.
You just said it's an 8-horse race, and you included Oregon.
Well, okay. They still theoretically can get in there. But what I'll say about TCU, I think TCU. So here's what I'm thinking. I think a win in Athens for Tennessee is a lock. The winner of Ohio State, Michigan is a lock. Bama, if they can win the you got those two as a lock. I think Georgia or Bama takes the 3rd spot, and then you've got the 4th spot, which to me that's kind of up in the air, because a lot of people are saying, it's going to go to Clemson because they don't play anybody. They're going to be undefeated, but they're just not impressive. Uyongole, DJ, he's been just a mediocre to me.
Well,
I don't think he's the real deal.
The problem here is that they already ranked him in the top 4. If the committee was smart, they would put Clemson outside of the top 4 so that they'd have to earn their way in But now,
Right,
when
right.
teams in the top 4 lose, Clemson's going to be able to stay there even if they're not winning by winning good games. That's the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, but I still think they got Bama at 6, and to me that's just an excuse. They're going to put them in as soon as Georgia, or if Georgia loses, that's where Bama slides in my opinion. I think they've got that all set up. I think, again, Ohio State, Michigan, they don't play until the last week of the regular season, but that they're going to flip-flop if Ohio State loses. And then, I mean, hey, TCU, think about it. I'm not a huge fan of Texas Christian College or whatever, but they're 8-0. They don't play anybody. They've got a quarterback in Max Duggan who's in everyone's Heisman race. But so, hey, TCU could make a run at it. You know, if you get Ohio State loses, Georgia loses, Clemson loses, you never know. They could sneak in there. If Tennessee beats Alabama in the SEC championship, you never know.
Yeah, Jules. Is Georgia and Alabama different SEC conferences? Which side is Tennessee on?
Tennessee's
East.
in the East with Georgia.
That's what I thought.
So for Tennessee,
think-
for Georgia, this weekend is an elimination game. For Tennessee, it's not.
Absolutely.
For the winner of the Tennessee-Georgia game is going to be in the college football playoffs no matter what. Because the winner of that game is going to face Bama in the ship, and if they go undefeated and lose a close game to Bama, they're in. If Bama wins the SEC championship and goes undefeated, they win, and whoever loses this Georgia-Tennessee game is going to be tough. However,
I think this is a bigger game. Brady, I think this is a much bigger game for Georgia than it is for Tennessee. Because Tennessee already has that Bama win on their resume.
5 ranked.
That's the best win in college football in the last 5 years.
It is.
Yeah, you tell them, Ben.
Hear me out. If Georgia beats Tennessee and then Bama beats Georgia in the playoff, what happens then? They're all 3-1 losses, and they've all beaten each other with impressive wins.
And here's what I'm going to say about that.
In that situation, what should happen is those teams should be 1, 2, 3. The winner of Ohio State, Michigan should be 4. But because the committee is the way the committee is, they're going to put Clemson at number 4, and they're going to get whooped by whoever they play. And it's going to be a disgrace that one of those teams is in the college football playoff. That's what's going to happen.
And that also is why TCU doesn't stand a chance, in my opinion, Ben.
TCU does not.
Yeah.
TCU is not going to stand up against Bama, Georgia, or Tennessee, and it's not even debatable.
They're definitely a shot in the dark, but it's always, hey, Oklahoma, there were a few years Oklahoma snuck in there when they clearly shouldn't have been there. I'm not saying TCU's going to win. I say they've got a shot to make it. I don't think I personally would never put a Big 12 team in the playoffs because none of them can play defense.
That's fair.
But hey, statistically speaking, they should be in the conversation.
But this is the first year in recent memory that there has been an SEC school, as in Tennessee, to rival Georgia and Alabama. Jules is smiling over there, way too big for his little face. But
it's because of one dude. It's because of Big Cinco, Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker is a freak of nature. He should be the number 1 pick in the draft. I don't think it's that close.
He's the Heisman.
Can you say that again for me?
Yeah, Jules. Yeah, we'll get you a little excitement. Hendon Hooker is the best player in college football. He should win the Heisman. He should be the number 1 overall pick, and he's going to crush it. He's an NFL quarterback.
Damn right he should be.
Point is, all 3 of those teams deserve to be in the playoffs. Clemson has barely beat mid teams. They do not deserve to be in the playoffs. TCU plays in the Big 12. They would get creamed in the playoffs. The winner of Ohio State, Michigan deserves to be claimed the 4th best team in the country. And those are the 4 teams that should be in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Clemson does have 3 top 25 wins on their resume, but it's not the same.
What are those wins? They sneaked out a win against NC State, who's falling apart.
Okay, but at the time, you got to think that was the 10th best team. You beat Syracuse, even though your quarterback got benched.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse. Syracuse is – what are the recruits that Syracuse has?
And Wake Forest.
Syracuse is a 2-3 star program.
Oh, yeah. No one – Clemson is up there with the Bamas and the Georgias of the world when it comes to recruiting.
To play a Bama or Georgia every year,
they did look, the best competition was given to them that they could face, and they beat them. So that does have to be recognized. But I agree. I think that the key
job of the
difference
committee
is you look at the offense when it was run by Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence is phenomenal, and then you look at it with DJ Uyunglele, and it's just not the same.
And it's a
He's
disaster.
an average college quarterback.
When Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson were at Clemson, they were beating these top 25 ACC teams by 30. They're squeaking out 7-point wins against them right now, and it's ugly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the quarterback play. It's the quarterback play.
The job of the committee is to put the 4 best teams. And right now that is
Right.
Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ohio State / Michigan. And there is no debate in that. 0. Clemson is borderline top 10 right now. I don't know if I put them in
You
my
think
top
there's
That's a good take. I mean, considering
that again?
LSU is top.
Clemson is
LSU
borderline
is
top 10.
horrible.
I think right now, if Oregon went to Happy Valley and played Death
Death
Valley.
Valley.
If
Happy
Oregon
Valley's
went to
Penn
Death Valley
State,
right
bud.
now and played Clemson, Oregon would win that game. And Jules said about 2 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago, that Oregon has no shot of the playoffs. And I think he's right. And I feel the same exact way about Clemson. They should not have a shot at the playoffs right now.
I think Clemson definitely beats USC, LSU.
They beat LSU.
No, I think
I don't
LSU
know about USC. I don't know if their
think
offense
they
can
beat
keep up.
USC
Look.
because USC is a finesse team. I think
I
LSU
think-
would beat. I think LSU would beat them.
Jules, I want your take on this. What do you think about a potential? You think, regardless of how the Big Ten matchup between Ohio State and Michigan goes, you think there's a chance for both of them to end up in the playoff with Tennessee and Georgia and Bama missing?
Yes.
If Tennessee beats
I think
Georgia and Alabama, then you could have an argument for Michigan
Yeah.
and Ohio State.
if Tennessee,
Any other scenario, and it's
if the
one or
win-
the other.
if the winner of the, I don't know, because actually, Ben, I honestly don't, because I think
See,
the winner.
it's tough.
Let's say
It's
no,
tough
let's
because
say
I
the
got-
winner- let's say the winner of the Tennessee Georgia game goes on and beats Bama. That means Georgia and Tennessee are automatically in, assuming they don't lose to a poverty team later in the year. Those teams are both in,
Right.
and that means the winner of the Ohio State Michigan game is in, and that means there's one more spot. And there is no shot the committee puts a one-loss Big Ten team in over undefeated TCU or undefeated Clemson. And one of those teams is very, very, very likely to go undefeated.
Right. And I mean, well, I think both TCU and Clemson go undefeated. But I think
I don't think TCU does. There's always
only-
some Big 12 game that just is
There's
like the
always a weird
underdog
Big
wins.
12
I mean,
game.
against
yeah,
the good team.
you're right about that. The Big 12 is very
gonna go on the
unpredictable.
road to, like,
the only real game they've got left on their resume, on their schedule, is they go to UT, who's 24th in the country right now. But I mean,
Yeah,
I think
Texas
it's
will
a
beat them.
possibility.
UT is good. UT can be good.
They're good. Quinn Ewers is definitely a guide there.
At the
For
same
sure.
time, I could so easily convince myself of UT going to somewhere like Iowa State or somewhere like that and losing a 13-10 game.
Well,
You never
they
know
did
in
lose to
Big 12.
Texas Tech.
But I think
Texas
whoever
lost to
goes
Texas
the
Tech.
SEC championship, I think will lose to Bama. I don't see Bama. I see. As good as Tennessee. I am Tennessee. I think they're winning the Natty. But I don't
wow.
see them if they beat Georgia. I do not see them beating Bama in the SEC championship. I think Nick Saban wins that. So I think it becomes a very tight competitive race. Obviously, Tennessee can lose that game if they beat Georgia. They can lose that game. They'll still be in. Georgia, it's a must win this weekend. But Bama, if they lose that game in the SEC championship, that's huge. Because then that's tough. Because do you think Georgia, after losing to Tennessee, not making the SEC championship, you think they still get in?
No, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. So then you've got two spots because it's Tennessee, it's the winner of Ohio State, Michigan.
If Tennessee beats Alabama, if Tennessee beats Alabama in the college football playoff and one loss Georgia has a chance to get in.
I don't think so because they don't make the SEC championship. I think
You might be right there, Brady. But
You
it
could make the
depends
same
on
argument with Tennessee if they lose to
because
Georgia.
then you're rating if one loss Georgia is better than 2-loss Alabama.
or
not.
no loss TCU.
True.
So if
Well,
Alabama has 2 losses, they're not making it regardless.
That's what
that's the
think-
situation where Michigan and Ohio State could make it.
Right.
But
if-
Michigan and Ohio, one loss
The-
Ohio State team or a one loss Michigan team would not be putting over an undefeated TCU or Clemson team, and one of those teams is going to go undefeated.
Yeah, but there'd be two more spots. There wouldn't be one more.
Yeah, so Georgia/Tennessee, the winner of the
No. The only way there's two spots available, the only way, is if Tennessee wins out and Bama has two losses, doesn't make it. Georgia has one loss, spots up for grabs,
Georgia would
and then
make it,
Ohio State/Michigan would be the number 2 team. Then there's two spots up for grab. Undefeated Clemson gets one of them, and then the last spot is either TCU or the loser of Michigan versus Ohio State or Georgia.
Or honestly, Oregon has a shot there too.
No, Oregon does not
That's
have
what
any
I'm
shot.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Is
That's the
Oregon
only
is
situation
below
where Oregon
Georgia
gets
in
in.
every rank.
That's what I'm
they are,
saying.
because of
Yeah,
how
that's
much
right.
they
That's
beat
the
them
only
by.
situation where Oregon gets in.
Right, but that's why I think it's an 8-man. Because look at what if TCU loses? What if TCU drops a game? What if Clemson drops a game? This whole thing is very. I give Oregon a 1% chance of making the playoffs. You
still
can
give
count
them a
me on
0.
that, but
It's a chance.
hey, you never know. So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
I'm telling you, there's still no chance.
If Oregon shows
Just
out
the
and wins
way-
the Pac-12,
if Oregon-
Clemson gets a loss.
If Oregon
TCU
played,
gets a loss. They put one loss. Georgia, undefeated.
Could you
Tennessee,
imagine,
Ohio State,
Jules,
Michigan.
listen to this newspaper heading. Could you imagine if Bo Nix goes to the national championship after leaving Auburn and all those years down in Auburn, Alabama, when they thought that guy is going to take them to the promised land? He sucks. You know what? Goes to Oregon and then wins a natty. That would be crazy.
it would be crazy, but it's an impossible scenario because there's no shot they make the college football playoff.
Yeah,
If they had
it's very
competed-
hard for sure.
If they
But,
had,
we sh-
if they had competed with Oregon, if they had lost by 10 or 15, then you've got an argument. They
Right.
lost
That
by
was week
46 points. And
one.
the only way that Oregon would have a shot is if Georgia is one of those teams with if Georgia is one of those teams that's out, then you're like, holy cow, the committee is not going to put Oregon against a team that beat Georgia.
Right. Hey,
So
watch out
therefore,
for
there's
U of
no
I.
way
Watch
for
out for
Oregon.
Chase Brown. Watch
I
out
love
for
U of I, man, but they're not. They're
Yeah,
not,
if
no.
U of I beats Michigan, they've got a
Hey,
chance.
Chase Brown. You heard it here first. Chase Brown is the best running back in college football.
Hear me out.
That's
Hear me
not
out.
true. It's
If
Israel.
Illinois
It's
beats
Israel
Michigan,
something on
and then
Pittsburgh.
beats Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, they could get the 4 seed.
Hold on.
They'd be a
I
one-loss
gotta-
team. They'd
I'm gonna
knock off
say.
number 4.
What's this guy's name on Pittsburgh? Israel Pittsburgh.
I mean, Minnesota.
His name is. It's like
Israel-
Abanaconda. Israel Abanaconda. That dude is a stud.
I think that guy's on Minnesota.
No, he's on Pittsburgh.
That's Ibrahim like something.
Oh, that's who it is. Ibrahim. Not
Ibrahim.
No, Chase Brown is nasty.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right,
Well,
boys, we should
Ben,
probably get moving.
thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you for
Bring
your
us a
appearance.
Like a thumb.
And now it is time for This Week in Vegas with our second guest of the week, Sammy
Yeah.
Entin.
This is Samuel Entin. He is the president at the most prestigious public high school in the country. He does a great job, works day and night. He's probably not going to sleep tonight. And this man pretty much keeps the state of Illinois and pretty much the country running at this point. So we'd like to give it up for Samuel Entin.
Wow, Brady, what an introduction. It is an honor being here with you guys today.
I'm an honor. It's an honor to be here with you. So, Sammy, what is your first? Actually, we'll start with Jules. Go from left to right. Jules, what's your first pick for the week?
We're going to start with Sammy because he's the guest. And, we respect our guests and allow them to go first, Mr. Hannon.
Well, don't we want to show our guests don't we want to show our guests kind of how the picks go?
No, we throw them in the fire and see how they do.
I like that too.
We've got our 1-2 record from our past guest picker, Francesco Santucci. So you got to make up for his inability to pick games correctly. What you got for us, Sammy?
All right, I'm going to start off with a hot take. I have the Jets, which are plus 11.5. They're covering the spread this week against the Bills.
Wow.
I'm starting out with that. I think the Jets are so much better than last year. They are 5-3, like going from last year. That is a huge improvement. They got Garrett Wills. They got Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, all these great people. And
DJ Reed, wow.
they're a good football team. The Bills, awesome. They're great. And I think the Jets are still going to lose, but against this, like covering the spread, I think I got the Jets. You know?
Yeah, I saw a stat today. It's talking about the 2021 QB draft class. It was all the players' biggest games. It was like Trevor Lawrence national championship as a freshman. It was Fields in the semis showing out against Clemson and putting up a great fight against Bama. And then it was Zach Wilson losing to Coastal Carolina. Yeah, it was Zach Wilson losing to Coastal Carolina. And I don't think that Zach Wilson is going to march into Buffalo and make that game close. So for
it's
those
in
reasons,
Buffalo? No, it's in New York.
It's in my mistake.
Yeah, it's in New York.
I don't care where it is.
Get
It
it
could be
right,
on the
Hannon.
moon. Dude, it could be on Mars. I don't really care. The Jets aren't going to make that game close. Wilson will 4-12. Wilson's going to throw 12 picks, and the Bills are going to roll them. Sorry, Sammy. Love you, Prez, but no.
Dang. Tough critique. Brady, what you got for your first pick?
My first pick, we talked about him a bit earlier. Seahawks are underdogs against the Cardinals this week.
That
I got
they are.
Seattle +2 against Arizona. I mean, like, Seattle's been playing good football. Arizona has not been playing good football. And I think Seattle wins this game by a touchdown. I mean, I don't really know how they're underdogs. Seattle's been playing phenomenal. They know who they are. They execute well. They're a really good football team. And I think they win this game against the Cardinals.
DK and Lockett are a little banged up, but do you think they're going to score enough to contain Hopkins? Hopkins went off last week for the Cardinals.
He did, but Kyler's been struggling. I mean, I know they kept it close with the Vikings for most of the game, but I think the Seahawks pull away with this game.
Who won the first?
I think they lean on Kenneth Walker. I think they control the game, and I think they pull it out.
They played each other once this season, and the Seahawks won 19-9. Oh, Brady's gone. Brady's back.
I'm back.
The Seahawks won 19-9.
I know the offense is improved with DeAndre Hopkins, but is it that much improved?
They usually split this series, though.
I don't care what they usually do. They have Geno Smith at quarterback. There are no usuallys.
Okay,
Yeah.
you make a point there. Fair enough.
Fair. All right, what do you have, Jules?
My first pick of the week is the New England Patriots -5 against the Indianapolis Colts.
That's
And
fair.
here's why.
No, that's enough. I like it. Okay, Sammy, what about you?
Okay, cool. No, I want to talk.
Mine,
The Colts. Colts.
Let Jules talk. He needs the ego boost.
Yeah, fair enough. I already got a big enough ego boost from you guys sucking off Tennessee when we're probably going to end up losing this week anyway. But, the Colts, Jonathan Taylor is real. He's injured. He's in and out of lineup. They just traded away Naheem Hines. They have Sammy Heisman at quarterback, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The Patriots, who did they play last week? They look good, I think, right?
Naheem Hines got traded to the Bills, Jules.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't have Naheem Hines anymore.
Oh, I thought you said they have Naheem Hines. My mistake.
No. He's gone. So they have less weapons. Pittman will be fine. He's playing well. But the Patriots I think they're gonna roll. That run game has been really good. Jacoby Myers is an emerging receiver after he didn't catch a touchdown for the first 16, 20, however many games of his career. Now he's got 4 or 5 touchdowns this season. I don't care who the quarterback is. I think the Patriots run game is gonna win them that game.
Sorry?
Pats -5. What you got, Sammy, as your second pick?
First of all, you're going to say that when the Bears won against the Patriots. That's pretty embarrassing. I mean,
It is, but the
even as a
Patriots look
Bears fan,
amazing or horrible on any given week.
And that's
Okay.
why Jules
I'll
puts his
take
full
that.
faith in betting on them this week. Thank you.
Respect that. All right. Next, -3 Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings over the Commanders. I don't know why the spread is so close. The Commanders are god awful. I was actually at the Commanders Bears game 2 weeks ago, and that was just watching two children fight in the playground. They are just so beyond awful, and our other guest Ben Alon knows that they're awful. And I mean, listen, I don't know. The Vikings are good this year, and they're gonna win the division. Their only loss is against the Eagles, who are 7-0. I see no reason why the Commanders should have any chance in winning this game.
I think that's a pretty good pick, but you can never count out Taylor Heineke. He's got
No.
He's got the it factor.
Taylor Godeke. I actually had the Vikings as a pick too, so
Hold up. Ben
move
wants
on.
to be thrown on the screen real quick. What does this bozo have to say?
he is unfortunately a Commanders fan.
Taylor Heineke
Okay, that's
is
enough.
winning
That's enough. Get him off, get him
MVP.
off.
All right. I'm telling you
so-
now that this team drives me absolutely crazy. Okay, this team right here, because they cannot decide between should we tank, should we try to go win the Super Bowl, should we get a new owner, a new coach, a quarterback. It doesn't matter because we have two guys, Taylor Heineke and Terry McLaurin. All right, and they are taking us to the promised land, and we are beating the Vikings. That's all that needs to be said. Jules, you can take me off.
All right, that's our word from our Commanders fan.
Yeah, I actually had the Vikings -3 too, but I'm gonna move my next pick.
Was that your next pick?
That was my next pick, but I'm gonna move on.
Okay, we need it for the official results.
Oh, for sure, it was the Vikings -3. But
You have
yeah, I was
-3
thinking
or
of spread this
-3.5.
week, and I saw -4, and I was thinking, oh, this must be a close game. Two good teams. It's the Dolphins versus the tanking Bears, and I think the Dolphins -4. I don't see how this game is gonna be close. I think the Dolphins win by 10+. I love the Bears. I love what they're doing, but they're not doing it for right now. They're doing it for about 9 months from now when the new season starts. And yeah, I don't think the Bears are going to keep up with the Dolphins. I think Tua is going to shred their defense. They have a great secondary and a bunch of practice squad guys on the front seven. Yeah, I think it's going to be ugly.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I have the Dolphins as well. On my app, they're -4.5. But if we're gonna give you the -4, I'll take the -4 as well. I already have 2 pushes in my record, so we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, the Dolphins are gonna just whip us. They're gonna.
I'm gonna be honest. The Dolphins are probably gonna put up at least 30 points. If the Bears keep that game close, I'll be thrilled.
Yeah, me too. If Claypool catches a touchdown or two, Fields looks good.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can lose 40 to 20 to 49-29,
I'll
just
lose
like last week.
29 every day of the week if Claypool's scoring touchdowns.
Exactly.
Chase Claypool. I have Bears for this game. Chase Claypool. That's all I have to say. Hey, he's not even okay. He's on the team, but I'm saying he's bringing new energy to the team. He's bringing the Bears back to momentum. The game.
You have the Bears covering. Wait, do you have the Bears covering or winning?
That was my next pick. I have the Bears covering that game. Chase Claypool is going to be a difference maker. Listen, our offensive line is terrible, but hey, we have a receiver. Like you said earlier, he could catch the ball. He can go out for a pass. Justin Fields is improving every single week. Chase Claypool is going to be an impact player. I can see it. And listen, I don't think the Bears are going to win that game, but I think it could be a one-score game. I really think so.
That was bold.
That is a little bold. I'm not gonna lie.
Bold.
You can talk all you want about Claypool. We don't have any linebackers.
Yeah, we don't have any linebackers.
We don't have any.
We don't have any D linemen.
No more.
We have
Roquan.
Nicholas Morrow, I think, and Trevis Gibson is our other edge rusher. Who else? We don't have anyone to play defense. We have a good secondary, but not a great secondary.
The Bears' starting defense right now is a guy that consists of Justin Jones, who's decent, Trevis Gibson,
Justin Jones,
career backup, Justin Jones, their D tackle.
Oh, okay. I don't even know who our D tackles are at this point.
They're currently starting Dominique Robinson, a 5th-round rookie who played receiver up until 2 years ago. Now he's playing D end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the Bears are looking good. They are promising to cover this game. Great pick, Sammy.
Man, if only we had like Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn or something like that.
Ian Hicks, all those players we used to have.
Hey, this.
We can bring him back.
Oh, if only we had Smoke and Jay, of course.
Fields is better than Jay Cutler.
Super Bowl team. All right. Well, now that your picks are done, you have any other hot takes for us, Sammy, or points of information that you think are worthy of being on the show?
I'm just trying to think. I mean, I'm always thinking about the Bears, and do you think they're going to be good in 5 years? I just want your opinion. I mean, they got Chase Claypool. Ryan Poles is making some moves in the front office. What do you guys think is going to happen with the Bears in their near future?
Yeah, I think when I look at the Bears, they remind me a lot of the Eagles of last year.
Oh, gosh. You told me about this the other day. Continue.
With less talent. Because if you think about the Eagles last year, they didn't beat good teams. They beat bad teams. They had a great ground attack. Jalen Hurts was still developing as a passer and an NFL player. But their ground attack was lethal. They had an identity. They didn't have a ton of weapons. They didn't have great receivers. Didn't have enough depth. but they were a young team and they knew their identity and they were well coached. And I think that's the Bears this year, very similarly. Do the Bears have as much talent as the Eagles did last year? No. Will the Bears be 7-0 at this time next year? Hell no. But do I see some similarities? And do I think the Bears are about half a year behind where the Eagles were last year? I do. I think they're very similar footsteps right now.
Interesting.
Fields reminds me a lot of last year's Jalen Hurts, still developing as a passer, deadly with his legs. Their ground game is phenomenal. They don't have the weapons, but they're working on that, and they're rebuilding right now. And again, I think Philly last year was much more talented. I think they were much more poised for the jump. I think the Bears are going to make a jump and be competitive next year. Do I think they'll be great? No, but they'll be decent at the very least. And I really see that parallel.
I think the Bears are going to be like this year's Falcons next year. I think they'll somehow win a few games, but still be garbage overall.
It's fair.
I don't think the Bears are going to have any shot at the playoffs for another 3 years. There is just we have no pieces on the team. We have Fields. We have Claypool for 2 years.
I strongly disagree with that point.
We have young guys, but we have Jalen Johnson and Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon. They're pretty good, but they are by no means going to win us. I don't know how we're going to get past 500 with this core right now.
We aren't, but if you look at the money they have 125 million cap space, 9 draft picks.
Well, when have the Bears ever gone out in free agency and bought a bunch of people?
Dangerous.
I know we have a lot of cap space, but when have we ever bought a ton of guys in free agency or even good people? The last time we tried to do that, we ended up with Marcus Wheaton, Marcus Cooper, those two from the Steelers.
The last time the Bears spent a lot of money in free agency was before 2018. They went 12-4, then Nagy blew the thing up.
No. I'm talking the year before. I'm talking the year before that, I think. Before we got Khalil Mack, when we bought all those low tier guys and then they sucked, and it was like, why do we? Yeah, we spent money on Mike Glennon. We spent money on that. That was a few years before that. That's the last time the Bears spent legitimate money in free agency. It's gonna take a few years. I'm not as hopeful as you are just yet. Maybe in a little while.
I think 2 years the Bears are making the playoffs.
In 2 years, we can be 500 if we really draft well.
Jules, what you're not realizing is teams progress much faster than that. Like,
we're the Bears.
What?
You forget we're the Bears.
I trust polls to lead us where we need to go.
In polls, we trust.
Thank you, King Polls. There's teams like I'm trying to look at my board right now. What teams? The Dolphins. What were the Dolphins? Dolphins were 1-7 last year. Now they're a potential playoff team with new pieces. Who else?
Yeah, but we're not.
Look at the Jets.
Why not, Jules? We have a good GM. We got money. We got cap.
We don't know yet if we have a good GM. We think we have a possibly good GM. You do not know just yet if we have a good GM.
I don't think you understand how much better a possibly good GM is than Ryan Pace, okay?
Hey, Ryan Pace made us look really good for a year. And everyone hailed it. I remember us going to Bears training. Us going to Bears training camp, and Ryan Pace walks by, and the whole crowd went, "Oh my God, Ryan Pace, you're awesome!" And then 2 years later, it was, "Oh, this guy sucks. Get him out of there." GMs, I mean, we could have a really good draft class next year, but we're not going to lose enough games this year to get there. We already have. If we had lost to the Texans and lost to the Command, or we did lose, if we lost to the Niners, the Texans, whatever the third game we won was,
I just looked up.
I don't even remember these. I don't even remember at this point who the other team we beat. Oh, the Patriots. I mean, it's amazing that we won some of these games, which is awesome. I love when the Bears win. I want us to win as much as we can. But we're not going to be a top 5 pick, and we're not going to have the assets to go grab the top players in the draft because just the Bears just don't do that. It's not how the franchise runs. We end up somehow winning a few games, and then it's like, oh, with the 7th pick, they select Kevin White, and then the team goes down the toilet. We're not going to be good for a few more. We're not the type of team to make that 0 to 100, you know, in my opinion. Maybe Poles proves me wrong. I hope he does, but I don't see it happening as quickly as you think it could.
All right, well, we can beat it. We can. You have your delusional takes. I'll let you be your way.
All right, let's close out the show with our quad view real quick, in case our guest hosts have any crazy last minute stuff they want to address.
Take command.
Okay.
Come on, Ben. Come on.
Take command. All right.
Bears
Is that
should've won
is that
that
how
game.
we're ending this? Take command.
All right.
We are not ending
Everyone,
this.
take command of your night.